Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Moremadi Mabule, and we are the Legacy Hub. Those who are new here, welcome. Those who are returning, you know how we roll here. We are the Legacy Hub. We talk all things wealth creation, wealth preservation. We cheat here and there. We read the Word of God from time to time. There's story time. There is gossip. Gossip about myself. Sometimes I've got my daughter visiting, but in most cases, here we talk about anything that builds, that moves a needle, that takes us to the next step. Today, it's gossip. Today, I wanted to talk to you guys about customer service in South Africa in general, customer service. So I haven't been well. And I did a video about Steve Biko, and I did rant and rave about the service that I received at Steve Biko. That was amazing. And I had a good few doctor friends of mine saying people don't understand that in academic hospital, that's where you get the best, because you get the specialist, the professor, the students, you get everybody that you need attending to you. So I haven't been well, so I had to seek medical attention, and I went to a hospital. So I'm not going to name the name of the hospital just to avoid drama, because the matter was ultimately resolved. So we get to this hospital, and then they do vital signs. I think it's called triage. Where they check vital signs, they check high blood pressure, they check pain levels, they check the basics, just so they can actually put rating, whether it's a red, it's a green, it's a amber, and depending on that, that's how you're going to get serviced. So if you are an amber or a green, you can wait a little bit longer, but when it's red, it means it's life-threatening. So anyway, after that process, then you go to the waiting room, and then you're attended by a doctor. If it's in a casualty, obviously you're going to be attended by the casualty doctor on duty. But I think my experience here, and this is what I want to talk about, is when does doctors are professionals, and I've got high respect for them. They studied very hard. They are always upgrading themselves and stuff like that. So I hold them with high value. But when do they say, I don't know? When do they say, hey, ma'am, we know you are here, we'll just stabilize you, but we don't know. If they took medicals, bloods, they tested what they think are the immediate signs of something. For example, let's say they're treating what they think was a potential stroke or a heart attack. Then they do ECG, they do the blood counts, and they do all the basics that speak, the high blood pressure, that speak to a potential stroke or a potential heart attack. When do they say, ma'am, we don't know what we're dealing with? When do they say that? Or sometimes, what if it's a misdiagnosis? I've heard a lot of people saying they went to a doctor, the doctor was treating them for 1, 2, 3, and it was a wrong diagnosis, and they had to seek second opinion at their cost. Seek second opinion. Of course, it's at your cost, and you will go because it's your health. And then thereafter, there's further investigations that are quite costly, because the more you see a specialist, then and further tests, it's costly. And thereafter, you walk out maybe with a clean bill of health. So now my question is, as a customer now, a paying customer, you're a patient, yes, but as a paying customer, when do you take the doctor, you hold the doctor accountable and say, in this case, doctor, you didn't know, and you failed to say, I don't know, let's seek second opinion. You as a patient had to go seek for second opinion. How do we hold them accountable? And to saying, the doctor, help us with just understanding, how do we deal with misdiagnosis? How do we then deal with a doctor that failed, that in my eyes is negligent? If you didn't say, here, I don't know, I'm going to refer you to a specialist for further opinion, or for a second opinion, or further investigation. Another thing that I don't know if it hasn't been your experience, it has been my experience with certain doctors. That's why I stick with one doctor. Especially if I from an accessibility and building a proper medical profile, I stick with one doctor. If sometimes I would go to a certain doctor for a specific reason. If I want them maybe I'm dealing with my weight, and then they channel me with the right, that, if they specialize in those areas, then it becomes easy for me to go to those doctors. But then if I stick with one doctor and the doctor already knows my history, I sit with a challenge. If I have to tell the doctor, maybe let's check this, let's check that, let's check. Can't they what doctor again? Are they not supposed to be proactive? Yes, the first question that they ask is, how can I help you today? I'm at a doctor because I'm not feeling well. What is wrong? I've got a headache. Now it's the doctor's job to investigate what causes the headache. Or kayaka. Or am I expecting doctors to be magicians, but to help me understand? And little doctor, obviously about service. As a customer service. Yona ew. Help me understand this one. Let's unpack it. So in my case, it was not an issue of the doctor-patient relationship that was not working. It was how, as a customer paying patient, one is treated. And I think, we need to see value for our money. As much as I was clapping hands for Steve Biko to say, from vital signs to getting admitted, to being transferred to the ward, to being treated, to seeing specialists, to moving from one area to another all the time, the service was on point. So manese, porter, how to start from here, how to go, or the sona, the scanner, how to on point. And then you go to a private hospital where you are paying, and then, I'll show her, but do they want to be here or they don't want to be here? How do you deal with that kind of behavior? From the reception lady to the treating doctor, half the time they don't know what they are doing. But anyway, so I laid a formal complaint, and this is how it ended. That's why I said it was resolved. Laid a formal complaint, and the sister in charge contacted me, took time to hear my story. She had my file. She knew what time I entered the hospital. She knew what time I saw the sister. She knew what time I went to be seen by the doctor. She knew what time I was discharged. She also knows what the doctor asked me. No, not asked me, what the doctor prescribed. She knows... She couldn't also, unfortunately, tell me what was the ultimate diagnosis, because there was no diagnosis. The doctor didn't know. I had to find second opinion myself, go to a second opinion, that was my GP, and say, hey, dude, this is the story. Check what they checked. Give me the medical results, blood results, checked everything. Clean bill of health. There was no issue. There was probably a small issue that triggered certain things. Maybe it was fatigue. But when do doctors say, we don't know? My GP ultimately said, no, man, I don't know. We've checked everything. Cholesterol, high blood. We've checked, vital signs for heart attacks. We've checked all that. But he got to a point where he says, no, man, maybe you were fatigued. Maybe it was this. Let's treat this. Let's treat that. And for me, that whole exercise to pay 2 doctors, come on, the doctor. All right, I'm not complaining. I just want to know, what has been your experience with a doctor? Did you get a good service? Are you treated with respect? Are you treated with is the doctor there because of the money, or they are there because they've got a healing gift? And a gift is something that you give freely. But of course, I'm not saying doctors must work for free. They worked very hard for their qualification. They must charge, but they must service from the heart. Akit. If you're wrong, all right, I love you lots. Remember, everything that we chit chat here, none of this is advice, none of this is legal advice, no financial advice, no legal advice. We just chit chat. All right, until next time.